Hey up guys, welcome back to my Oscar season coverage. Today's video I'm going to be giving you my March and most likely final predictions for the nominees of the 2021 Academy Awards. I'm going to go through all 23 of the categories, give you my predictions, some alternates and some discussion if needed. We do still have a week before the Oscar nominations are announced, so there is a chance I might alter my predictions. So if you want my full and final predicted list, then do follow us on Gold Derby. There's a link in the video description down below. And also, in that video description, there's links to my social media stuff. My Twitter, my Instagram, my letterbox. If you want to follow me on any of those, do it. And if you guys like Oscar season content as well as movie and TV content, consider subscribing to my channel. And if you want to help support my channel, turn on that notifications bell, hit the thumbs up button, and let me know in the comment section down below who you think are going to be nominated this year's Oscars. I love hearing your theories and predictions. Anyway, enough of me rambling. It's time to predict some Oscars. Starting off with Best Actor. As you can see, my 5 picks have remained the same as the previous predictions vid I did back in February. I think it's going to be this 5, and I think Chadwick Boseman is going to walk away with that Oscar. He's already won the Critics' Choice Award, the Golden Globe, he's snatching all them trophies, and he's got the narrative on his side, and he is going to get the Oscar as well for his powerhouse tour de force performance as Levy in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And if and when Chadwick Boseman wins Best Actor, he will only be the 5th black man in history to win Best Actor at the Oscars. It's crazy to think that he'll only be the 5th black man to win this, and if you think only 5 black men is bad, trust me, that's a lot better than what we have with Best Actress. We've only ever had 1 black woman win Best Actress, and that was Halle Berry for Monsters Ball, and that was like 20 years ago. God! Riz Ahmed and Anthony Hopkins, I'm feeling very secure, will get nominations, but with the last 2 slots, you've got 3 very deserving performances vying for those 2 slots, so somebody's going to miss out regardless. If I had it my way, it would be Steven Yeun and Delroy Lindo, making this the most diverse Best Actor category we've ever had. But I have to go with the evidence, and I'm going to say Gary Oldman is going to get in for Mank because he's just going to have the support. Mank has done a lot better than Da 5 Bloods. So yeah, as much as I want to see Delroy Lindo take Gary Oldman's spot, I still think it's going to be Gary Oldman and Steven Yeun. And if Steven Yeun does get nominated, he'll be the first ever Asian American man to be nominated for Best Actor. First ever. It's just... But I tell you what, the person who I really want to see the most in this category is Mads Mikkelsen for Another Round. I absolutely adore that film. It was my top film of 2020. So yeah, I would be elated if either Delroy Lindo or Mads Mikkelsen showed up here, but I'm nervous neither of them will. Best Actress. This race was already exciting to begin with, but when Andra Day surprised everybody with that win at the Golden Globes, it just took it up to a whole new level. On my last predictions video, she was my 5th slot in this category, but only just. But when she won that Golden Globe, she skyrocketed up everybody's predictions list. The thing is with the Golden Globes, they are actually a pretty reliable indicator with the Best Actress winners at the Oscars, particularly the ones that win Best Actress in a Drama, because the last 8 out of 10 of the Best Actress Drama winners at the Golden Globes have gone on to win the Oscar. But I still can't put Andra Day at my number 1 just yet because she didn't get the nomination at the SAGs and she didn't even make the BAFTA's long list for Best Actress, and no Best Actress winner has ever triumphed at the Academy Awards without at least having the SAG nomination. But remember, this is the COVID year. If there was any year for things to be shaken up a little bit and not follow the rules that came before, it's this year. And also, what I just said previously, we've only had 1 Best Actress winner who's black. So maybe this is the year that the surprise comes with Andra Day winning it. Biopic about a notable historical figure. Bloody Renee Zellweger won last year for playing, Judy Garland, a famous singer. Can Andra Day do the same with Billie Holiday? A role which has been Oscar nominated before with Diana Ross playing her. So yes, there's a very strong possibility that if she does have some sort of momentum behind her, Andra Day can go on to win this. But for now, I'm not putting her as my number 1. I'm still going with Carey Mulligan. I think she's got a better chance of winning at the Oscars, and she just won the Critics' Choice Award last night. But the thing is, the awards are going left, right, and centre to everybody in this category, and I can foresee an outcome where every awards body goes with a different winner, because we had, And today at the Globes. At the BAFTAs, it'll probably be Carey Mulligan. At the SAGs, it could go to Viola Davis. It could go to Frances McDormand. It could go to Vanessa Kirby. Thing is, it's so open. This race is so exciting because no one really knows for sure who that winner is going to be just yet. And that's what makes it so juicy. But for now, I'm still going with Carey Mulligan. It could change over the coming weeks as the race continues. It is not a done deal like Best Actor. This race is wide open. Can Rosamund Pike make it in now that she's won the Golden Globe? As much as I love I Care a Lot and Rosamund Pike's chilling performance in it, I just don't see it happening. But if she did show up on the ballot, I would be so happy. I'd be delighted. Vanessa Kirby has moved to my 5th spot now because it seems like she's Pieces of a Woman's only hope for some Oscars recognition. And I worry now, has Pieces of a Woman been out too long and kind of faded out of the conversation? Yeah, if there's someone to be surprise snubbed here, it could be Vanessa Kirby in favor of someone like Amy Adams, who got the SAG nomination, or an old pro like Sophia Loren, or Sydney Flanagan in Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. Yeah, we just don't know. There could be a surprise here. Best Supporting Actor. I still think it's Daniel Kaluuya, folks. He came in at just the right time with a ferocious, attention-grabbing performance in Judas and the Black Messiah. He is still my #1 pick. I can definitely see him winning the BAFTA for this. And also, if he does win the Oscar, he'll only be the 6th black man to have won this award. Also, with Daniel Kaluuya being British, there's a part of me that's just really excited to say Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya. Amazing. Sacha Baron Cohen and Leslie Odom Jr. I'm confident will be in this category. As for Chadwick Boseman, I'm not 100% sure he will be in this category, but I do think it's most likely he will be. I think he is going to do a Scarlett Johansson from last year and have a nomination in Supporting and Best Actor. Only difference is he's going to win one of these with Best Actor. However, Chadwick Boseman isn't even who I would want to see nominated from Defy Bloods with an acting nomination. But I understand why the Academy will probably give him 2 nominations because it just leaves a bigger legacy for the man. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't think he needs 2 nominations to solidify a legacy, but I can see why the Academy will probably give him the nomination. And then the last slot, I really hope it's Paul Raci. He's just had so much snubbery at the Globes and the SAGs, and I'm hoping, like I said before with Delroy Lindo, there's just been a bit more of a push for Paul Raci with all the snubbery that's come before, and people be like, okay, he didn't get those previous nominations, he deserves some recognition, we'll give him the Oscar nomination. But we do need to talk about Jared Leto. If Jared Leto gets into this category over Paul Raci, I am going to have a strop. And I can see Jared Leto being acknowledged because he's more of a household name than Paul Raci. Sometimes the really awesome performances just don't have enough support behind them to get those votes to make the ballot. And that's what could happen with Paul Raci in The Sound of Metal. Best Supporting Actress. Now, if you thought that the Best Actress category was exciting, well, Best Supporting Actress is now just as open and unpredictable and hard to call as Best Actress. In fact, it might actually be harder because we've got 8 credible and amazing performances vying for 5 slots. And with Jodie Foster winning surprisingly at the Golden Globes last week, it just threw a spanner in the works. Like, I was reluctant to put Jodie Foster, in my alternates in the last video, but now she's made it into my 5. But Jodie Foster didn't get the SAG nomination. If she does land a nomination with the BAFTAs tomorrow, I'll feel more confident in this prediction. But if she doesn't, then maybe I'll take her out on my Gold Derby, you never know. I've still got Glenn Close at my #1, but her path to the Oscars isn't as assured as it once was because she didn't win at the Golden Globes. If she had won there, then it would certainly indicate that there is support for her to go on to win at the Oscars, but nope, went to Jodie Foster. So her status as the frontrunner for this category hasn't been confirmed yet, but to be honest, I don't think any of the potential nominees have been, solidified as the Oscar frontrunner just yet. A win for Olivia Colman or Amanda Seyfried might have given us some more security in that, but Jodie Foster was like the 5th choice for this category, so the fact that she won it has just, flipped things on its head. So there is no clear frontrunner in either Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress yet. Yoo Jung-yoon didn't get in at the Golden Globes, but did manage to get in at the SAGs, and I do think that they are going to want to acknowledge Asian performers this year, and Steven Yeun and Yoo Jung-yoon have the best shot with Minari, and she's also been winning so many of the Critics' Circles Awards, Yoo Jung-yoon, so she should be in here. If she doesn't get in, I'll be really upset, to say the least, because she's the person who I want to see win, but I don't think will win. I just want her to definitely make the ballot. Maria Bakalova did win at the Critics' Choice Awards last night, which was very satisfying, but a lot of people have been saying to me that she is kind of the Jennifer Lopez of this year, and I think I agree. I can just see her being snubbed because of the role that she's playing and the fact that she's in a comedy and it's not very conventional. I haven't got her in my top 5 anymore, but I do hope that she gets in, because that would just be so deserving. And also a way of showing inclusivity to other genres than just dramas, biopics, etc. Give us some comedy. We want to see comedic performances acknowledged. I know a lot of other people have dropped Amanda Seyfried from their predicted 5, and I understand why, because she didn't get the SAG nomination and she also didn't win at the Globes like a lot of people thought she would. But I still think she's going to get in at the Academy Awards, because her performance in Mank as Marion Davies, it was just such a right role for the right actress at the right time, kind of like Emma Stone with Birdman when she got her first Oscar nomination. There's a real moment where an ingenue in Hollywood just finds the right role and just really shines in it. I do think she will get the nomination, but I can foresee an outcome where she's snubbed over someone like Maria Bakalova or Zendaya or Helena Zengel, one of the other blossoming ingenues coming out of Hollywood right now, or even Ellen Burstyn, an old pro for Pieces of a Woman, but that seems less and less likely now. But I will say this, expect a surprise with the Best Supporting Actress category. Something's gonna happen, there's gonna be a shocker, I guarantee it. Best Picture. Now, when it comes to Best Picture, I still think we're not going to get the full 10 nominees like everyone's thinking it will be. I think we're going to get probably about 8 or 9 Best Picture nominees this year. The most reliable indicator for predicting the nominees for Best Picture at the Oscars is to look at the films which got nominated for Best Picture at the Producers Guild Awards, which were today, and there were some surprises to what they've selected, which have definitely altered my predictions as to what's going to be nominated for Best Picture. So I've split it into 3 different groups. The top 4, Nomadland, Trial of Chicago 7, Minari, and Promising Young Woman. Those are the films which I think will definitely be nominated, and they have a shot of winning Best Picture. The next 4, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, One Night in Miami, and Judas and the Black Messiah, are films which I think will be nominated, but I don't think have a shot of actually winning Best Picture. And then the last 6 are the films which are alternates that do have a chance to be nominated, depending on how the Academy votes for Best Picture. They might go with just the top 8, they might go with a 9th or a 10th slot, and it could be any one of these 6. They could go with Sound of Metal, or they could go with Borat's subsequent movie film, because that made it in at the Producers Guild Awards, or it could go to something like Soul, Defy Bloods, The Father, or even News of the World. I did have News of the World here yesterday in the middle section, but when it didn't get nominated at the Producers Guild Awards today, it got bumped down to the alternates. At the moment, I think it's a 3-way race between Nomadland, Trial of Chicago 7, and Minari. That's just me. What do you guys want to see win Best Picture? Best Director. Let's be honest, Chloe Zhao is going to be walking home with that Best Director trophy. She has been snatching all the previous precursor awards. It is hers to lose, but I don't think she will. They're gonna want to have the second best ever female director winner this year. It's her time. But what's more interesting about this category is just trying to predict who is going to be on the ballot with Chloe Zhao. The remaining 4 slots could go to anybody on this list, because I don't think anybody is a lock other than Chloe Zhao. The person who I'd say who's next closest to being a lock would be David Fincher, because he's a well-established, well-known name in the directing community, and this category is voted for by the director's branch at the Academy. And so I think David Fincher will get in for what he produced in Mank. There was a time when everyone was saying the race was between David Fincher and Chloe Zhao, and I still think Fincher will get the nomination. Will the director's branch follow in the footsteps of the Golden Globes and honor more than one female director with a nomination? I hope to God so. I have put Emerald Fennell in my predictions because I think Promising Young Woman has arrived at the right time, it's made a lot of noise, and it is beautifully directed, and I can see it getting nomination, but it's not a guarantee. Regina King was long thought to be a shoo-in for this category, like back when One Night in Miami came out, but I think the love for that film has cooled a little bit, and I can see her missing out. The thing is, you have to remember as well, with the director's branch, sometimes they like to go with what they know. They like to acknowledge directors that have been around a while, who've paid their dues, and with writers turned directors and actors turned directors, it's less likely for them to get in. And also newbies as well, which is why it's hard to call, because there are so many like first time or new directors, like first time feature film directors, like in contention for this category. You've got Lee Isaac Chung, you've got Regina King, Emerald Fennell, Darius Marder. All these people are like, you know, new to directing. Florian Zeller as well as a newbie. Aaron Sorkin as well, a writer turned director. I mean, it's not his first time directing, but he is pretty new to it. And yeah, like I said, they don't always acknowledge writers turned directors. Look at Martin McDonagh with 3 Billboards. That's why I've got him as my 5th slot, because I can see him being bumped for someone like Shaka King or Paul Greengrass or Spike Lee. There's so many options here. I can make an argument for anybody here. I could definitely see the Academy going with more established directors like Paul Greengrass and Spike Lee, just because they've been around a lot longer and they have been nominated previously in this category. Best Original Screenplay. Now, as you can see, it hasn't changed at all from my previous predictions vid. I still think these are going to be the 5. And I still think Aaron Sorkin is going to win this, because he's Aaron Sorkin, it's his forte, he's a better writer than he is a director, and because of the success of Trial of Chicago 7, I think the Academy are going to want to honour him for all of his efforts. But also, he's been winning a lot in the critics' circles groups, and also Trial of Chicago 7 is a credible Best Picture contender. And usually there is a little bit of overlap between the screenplay and Best Picture. Not always, but fairly often. Best Adapted Screenplay. Again, there's not really much change from the last predictions vid. I still think Chloe Zhao is going to win this because Nomadland is more of a credible Best Picture contender than, say, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom or One Night in Miami. So yeah, I still think it's going to be Chloe Zhao here. Best Animated Feature. Nothing has changed. Soul's still my number 1. It's going to win Best Animated Feature. Pixar are Pixar. They have the track record to prove it. They are going to win it. As much as I'd like to see Wolfwalkers win it, it's not happening. Soul's been winning so many of the precursor awards for this. It has a comfortable lead. Best Cinematography. Again, not much has changed here. I still think it's a 2-way race between Nomadland and Mank. I think Nomadland has taken a comfortable lead now, so I'm expecting that to be the winner here. Best Costume Design, and we've definitely had some alterations since my previous Oscar video. I previously had Mank as the top contender for this. I've now changed my mind. I put Ma Rainey's Black Bottom at number 1. And also, Anne Roth will be the oldest ever nominee and winner of any Oscar ever at age 89 if she wins in this category. That's a lovely narrative. I want to see that. I'm sure the Academy wants to see that. So yep, Ma Rainey's now my new number 1. Best Editing. My 5 are pretty much the exact same as last month, except the 5th spot has now changed. I had Promising Young Woman and now I've swapped it for Sound of Metal. Reason being because of its victory, or tied victory with Trial of Chicago 7 at the Critics' Choice Awards for Best Editing. So yes, I do think Sound of Metal now, but I do think Trial of Chicago 7 is the clear and obvious frontrunner to win in this category. It's the type of editing that the Academy can get behind because it's so stylish and flashy. So yeah, Trial of Chicago 7 is the smart money for Best Editing Oscar this year. Best Makeup and Hairstyling. This is one of the categories I'm not 100% certain on, but I've gone with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom for my number 1, and then I feel confident with Mank and Hillbilly Elegy. It's not a category that I'm an expert in, but Ma Rainey is still my predicted pick for the winner of this category. Best Production Design. The only thing that I've changed here is that I've reluctantly taken The Father out of this category, even though I think The Father deserves to be acknowledged for its production design because of how it works to give you that disorienting feeling of Anthony Hopkins' character who has dementia. I think it works hand in hand with the film's effectiveness. The general rule of thumb that I tend to follow when making production design predictions is go with the period films, because they're the ones which really transport you back to a particular era, whereas films set in the modern day, like The Father or The Midnight Sky or Tenet, where they're either shot on location or in someone's apartment, it doesn't feel like there's as much of a leap to get to that world as there is to go to a period film. So yeah, I usually go with the period films, which is why these are my top 5. They're all period films. Best Sound. Not much has changed here. I'm still going with The Sound of Metal as the one to win this award because of just how immersive and effective the sound actually works in that film. I did previously have News of the World in here, but I bumped it for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and the reason is because movies with a lot of music in them, or which revolve around like musical set pieces and what have you, they do tend to be acknowledged in the sound categories, but now there's only one sound category. Best Visual Effects. My 5 are pretty much the same as the last predictions video, except I've swapped out the one and only Ivan for Welcome to Chechnya. Best original score. Nothing has changed here from my previous Oscar predictions video. These are the 5 that I'm predicting, the same order. I'm still seeing Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, and John Batista winning for their gorgeous work on the Pixar movie Soul. But when it comes to best original song, I am not as good at predicting this one. I think it is going to be a two-way race between Scene from the Life Ahead with Diane Warren and Leslie Odom Jr. with Speak Now for One Night in Miami. I think it's going to be those two. Diane Warren won at the Golden Globes, Leslie Odom Jr. won at the Critics' Choice Awards, so it's still anyone's guess at the moment, but it's the remaining 3 slots of this category where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to be nominated, but the one that I think stands out the most, and I think actually should be the winner, is Husavik from Eurovision Song Contest. I put Fight For You in here because of Judas and the Black Messiah, and it's just such an urgent type of song, and also Turntables from All in a Fight for Democracy because it's Janelle Monáe and, you know, she's performed at the Oscars before and I imagine they're gonna want some big names performing this year, so I feel like they will give her a nomination at least. But if I'm being completely honest, I don't know what to expect from the best song category because there's just been so few songs which have really stood out to me and I've gone, oh yeah, this needs to be nominated for Best Original Song. Best Documentary Feature hasn't changed that much. I've swapped out Collective for Dick Johnson Is Dead. Everything else is still the same. I still have All in a Fight for Democracy as my #1 pick, but I'm not married to it being, you know, the overall winner just yet. I think something like Time or Boy State could overtake it, but we need to actually wait and see if the films are nominated first. Best International Feature, I haven't changed at all since the previous predictions did. I think Thomas Vinterberg is going to win for another round, and I'm sticking with the 4 other nominees for now. Best Animated Short. I've been watching a few of these the past few weeks to try and, you know, get better at predicting who's going to be the winner of these, and my 5 nominees have remained the same, but who I think is going to win has changed, because originally I thought it was going to be Pixar with Out, but now that I've seen If Anything Happens, I Love You on Netflix, oh my god, that movie is so powerful. If you haven't seen it, guys, please, please, please watch it. It's only 12 minutes long, it's on Netflix. It's some of the best filmmaking I've ever seen, and it's just a short, so please do give it a watch, oh my god. But yes, If Anything Happens, I Love You has skyrocketed to the top of this list now, and I think it is going to be the winner. But yeah, keeping everything else the same, the 2 Pixar movies, Out and Burrow, The Snail and the Whale, as well as Opera. I've also been doing my homework with Best Documentary Short, because this is a category I'm usually not that good at predicting at, so I've been trying to watch as many of them as possible, and I have changed my mind on what I think is going to be in here. The one I had previously as my #1 was A Concerto Is a Conversation, but now that I've seen A Love Song for Latasha on Netflix, I think that is my personal #1 pick. I have seen The Speedcubers, which I loved. I just don't know if it's a subject that's going to really click with a large chunk of the Academy voters. I love it because it's really geeky and nerdy. I don't know if it's gonna make it into the top 5, but yeah, these are the 5 that I'm going with at the moment. And last but not least, Best Live Action Short. I've decided to stick with the same 5 short films as I did in the previous predictions video, simply because I haven't seen any of the shortlist contenders other than The Human Voice. That's the only one I've seen. It seems to be the one that's getting the most buzz as well because Tilda Swinton's in it and directed by Pedro Almodovar. So yeah, I've gone with The Human Voice still as my #1 pick because I've seen it. I know how good it is. The other one that might get some more traction is The Letter Room, because that stars Oscar Isaac, and I can see people wanting to check that out just because he is in that. I've heard good things about B2 as well. Also, Feeling Through is the first film to feature a both deaf and blind actor. So that's a big deal, and I feel like the Academy will want to acknowledge that. These are the 5 that I know the most about, as well as I don't know enough about all the shortlist contenders to know better. This is always a category I struggle with because it's not one that I actively seek out to watch a lot of the shorts. So yeah, your guess is as good as mine. If you do have some insight into this category and feel like you know who's going to be nominated, do let me know in the comment section down below. But there you have it, guys. Those are my March and most likely final Oscar nominations predictions for 2021. What did you guys think of my nominations? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Please do let me know who you think might be a surprise or who might be snubbed in that comment section down below. I also will be doing a live reaction video on YouTube the day of the Oscar nominations announcement on March 15th. So if you guys want to watch along with me and get the instant reactions of me to the surprises and the snubs and what have you, then do click subscribe and also turn on the little bell notification so you can be notified when I've gone live, and then we can share in the experience of the Oscars together. We can have a conversation, we'll chat, we'll have a good time. It'll be a lot of fun. If you guys want to stay up to date with all my Oscar season coverage, be sure to follow me on social media. My links to Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd are in the video description down below. If you've enjoyed this video, please do help support my channel by hitting that thumbs up button. And if you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Carefield, and I'll see you next time.